Hey, Luminary, welcome to a better late than never episode about the Sagittarius new moon and are celebrating our last new moon of 2023. What seeds of intention will you plant with this powerful new moon? Listen in. Welcome to Star Powered Astrology for Changemakers. I'm Leslie Tagorda, your guide, a Hawaii born Filipino Jewish astrologer who loves navigating visionaries like you through the spiritual journey of your work so that you can be inspired to lead by your chart and become the luminary leader you were born to be. Welcome back, Luminary. My apologies for being late with this episode, but as you can probably hear, my voice is not 100%. I've been kind of battling this, I don't know what it is, this cold, this virus for more than a week now. And every time I think I'm getting a little bit better, I get slam dunked right back in, just like total fatigue, losing my voice, all the things. And it really couldn't happen at a worse time. This kind of the second week of December is always like just this giant time in my life. I celebrate my anniversary. I got married on December 11th, 2015, 20 days before my son was born. It wasn't exactly a shotgun wedding. We had been planning to get married, but we waited to like the very last possible moment. And so fitting to get married on a on a new moon, and now celebrating our 8th year anniversary right before my son's 8th birthday. It's just like all kinds big. And then on top of like all of the holiday festivities and delivering, as an astrologer, you can only imagine how busy the year end is with getting the year ahead forecasts and doing my sale for my offer, Star Pirate Circle for next year. It's just like all the things. And I absolutely know in my own fashion, I've just been overdoing it. And I literally was working until Thursday, delivering on my Astrobrand certification. We had our group call. And then in Circle, we had a Chiron and Wounded Leadership call. And everybody in the class was like, Leslie, just sign off already. Because I was like trying to teach until like the last whispers of my voice came through. It's like, okay, I got this, I got this, I got this. And then on the weekend, we had all these things planned because it's my husband and my anniversary. And then Kat Siebert was coming in. She's one of my illustrious luminaries, just like my highest level VIP customer. She was flying in for a fun-filled weekend with me and just seeing all the sights of San Francisco. I wanted to show her all around on a VIP weekend tour, all these things. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take my Dayquil. I'm going to like get on top of things. And every moment that I wasn't like, playing with Kat, and I didn't want to miss, hanging out with Kat, like one of my like friends and like longtime clients who we work one-on-one for the last like 3 years now. I didn't want to miss out on all the fun. So I again pushed myself and pushed myself and pushed myself. Whew. Lesson learned, not again next year. So if you've been like me, where your body literally is like, okay, we're just gonna like thunk until you learn to rest. I'm promising not to do this to myself again next year. But I still have this drive, this urge to come on and talk about the new moon, because even though the new moon is like an hour past, like the moon has like moved away from the sun. I'm recording this on December 12th. It is 4:24 p.m. Pacific, like exactly an hour after the new moon. I'm like, we still have prime time to set our intentions for the new year and or for this Sagittarius energy. And we have that Mercury retrograde. Like Mercury is at a complete standstill right now and is going to shift gears in about, I don't know, 7 hours or so into reverse. So there's a lot baked in and woven in to this Sagittarius new moon that I just had to share with you. So before we dive into the new moon, I just wanted to let everybody know Star Powered Circle is still open until the solstice, and then we'll be closing down. Star Powered Circle, you don't have to, the pre enrollment that I had for those early bird sales, that was for the year long with all the special pricing for the year long. Now you can sign up for 4 months at a time in a trimester. So if you sign up before solstice, you will get the year ahead planning, which is super exciting. I've already been working with my clients on their year ahead, focusing on some of the outer planet transits on what you need to focus in for your mastery, breakthrough, and expansion in 2024. So we'll be doing that together in Star Powered Circle in January. So if you want in on that, and then we'll be doing Written in the Stars and Star Powered Position all in that first trimester. So you can join for 4 months for Star Powered Circle now, and you can head over to starpowered.com/circle if you want in for that shorter amount of time. I get it. Money is super tight. The world is super uncertain right now. It is very, very scary out there. Like, I absolutely get it. And that is why you need to invest in yourself, learn about yourself, learn about your own cosmic timings, learn about how you can start to trust in yourself according to your own star powers in community. So if that interests you, head on over to starpower.com/circle. Doors are open until solstice. Okay, let's talk about this new moon. So this new moon, Sagittarius new moon at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. It's one of these new moons that, yes, we can make those big dreams. Absolutely put our, Sagittarius wants to go big. It wants to know why. It wants to have that purpose and that drive and that gratitude. Because we also have Mercury standing still, you have to pair this Sagittarius new moon along with a reflection. When Mercury comes to a standstill, and I hope that I'll be able to share part of my Mercury retrograde. Had to cancel that masterclass in circle today just because I wasn't able to really talk really fully. But Mercury retrograde in Capricorn wants you to reflect on everything that you have already achieved. Look back at how you have been going, because you have accomplished so much. Life experiences from, the last 12 months, no matter how challenging there have been some silver linings that Mercury at this standstill is really asking you to dig in a little bit. Look at all those silver linings of your lived experience. See where you have gone through the school of life and what skills and strengths and how you've grown because of all of those challenges. And as Mercury continues on its path through Capricorn, you're going to really get to rethink how you want to and what you want to prioritize for yourself in 2024. Instead of going wide, we're asked to kind of come in and crystallize and focus, especially since, Saturn, the ruler of that Capricorn Mercury retrograde, is going to be staying in Pisces all of next year. And so it really, instead of wanting you to like go wide and do all the things, it wants you to focus in and start to really be responsible for your own spiritual health and wellness. So with this Sagittarius new moon, I want to remind you to spend a little bit of time to reflect on all of the silver linings and the growth that you have experienced because of your lived experiences and Capricornian challenges this year. So there will be time to get shit done. There will be time to plan your goals for 2024. I highly suggest waiting to early January when Mercury goes direct again to really put your goals and your action items and your to-dos. For now, reflect, take inventory, take stock of everything you have achieved. Even if it seems like I survived, I paid my rent, I had another day. Those things are highly, highly important that we want to give gratitude and be gracious for. That's going to give that fuel to the Sagittarius new moon. Okay, So let's talk about the astrology of this Sagittarius new moon. So, what's super interesting, so if you're watching this on video on YouTube, you'll see that I shared the chart for the Sagittarius new moon, which again happened on December 12th at 3:32 p.m. Pacific, where the sun and the moon met up at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. If you're looking at this chart, you can see that this chart is cast from San Francisco, where I'm currently located. So disregard the house placements. We're going to simply be talking about these different aspects. Now, you might have heard that when I see these kinds of new moons and the different aspects that the new moon is having, the different aspects that I'm looking at the ruler of this new moon and looking at the aspects that that's happening, it's kind of giving us the story. It's giving us the specificity of the questions that this new moon is asking of us as we set our intentions. Of course, Sagittarius energy is big energy, mutable fire. It's like that wildfire energy that just grows and grows and grows. But it's also like that candlelight energy in a dark room where everything is illuminated and you can connect the dots to the meaning and the higher purposes of life. Indeed, Sagittarius is like that inner sanctuary of learning, that temple that I always imagine is filled with tons of books and records where you can go on the greatest of explorations, learning about the cosmologies and the meanings and the myths and the morals and the ethics of so many different cultures and people, where it all comes back to the golden rule of treating others how you want to be treated yourself, for finding gratitude in the smallest things that inspire awe, to the simplest things like having to breathe or getting to breathe, rather. And so that Sagittarian energy loves to explore. We know that Sagittarius is that arrow that aims in its mark, and that mark is your purpose, where you are aiming towards. So, in this Sagittarius new moon, in addition to reflecting on all that you have accomplished with that Mercury retrograde, here's Mercury at that 8 degrees and 29 minutes in Capricorn, getting ready to trace its steps back all the way into Sagittarius. This new moon also wants you to put in, to plant the seeds of your purpose. And what I mean by your purpose is that why, the why you wake up every day and how you can take aligned action. Now, I know that in common vernacular, the words purpose, mission, and vision oftentimes get intertwined, get used for each other, but I want to make a very specific differentiation between your purpose, your mission, and your vision. All of them are extremely important. Your purpose, again, ruled by Sagittarius, is that big dream, that why, what drives you to wake up every day, to move into your calling, to do what you do. If you need help honing into your purpose, you can always look at the sign on the ninth house cusp and any planets in the ninth house. That's going to give you part of your purpose, as well as the North Node, as well as the Sun, as well as Chiron. All of those energies are going to add their little bits and pieces into your purpose. Okay. So again, your purpose is your big why. Why are you driven to do things? For me, I have Aquarius on the ninth house, and I want to innovate. I want to innovate astrology. Everything I touch is a niche of a niche of a niche because I want to do things differently, sometimes too differently, and people don't understand them. But for me, my why is because I want to change things because I have Aquarius on the ninth house. Your mission is what you are doing to accomplish that purpose. Okay. I have Pisces at that 10th house. If you need to understand your mission, look at that 10th house cusp. It's more than your vocation. It's more than your career. It's more than your reputation. It's more than part of your visual brand. It's so much more than that. Your mission is the what you are doing here and now. How are you taking action on that purpose. I have Pisces at that midheaven. So that Pisces, that mission for me, the what I'm doing here now is being a spiritual teacher. I have Mercury up there on my midheaven as well. So Pisces, that interconnected spiritual teacher. And then your vision is the vision of the future, what you want to create, that illustration, that painting of what we don't yet have, but how the world would be a better place when we all can accomplish that vision. So putting it again together, your purpose is the why you have this calling, why you wake up every day, why you are driven to do what you do. Your mission is what you are doing in the here and now to accomplish your purpose. Okay. This is going to be really action based. The what you're like, whether it's your offerings or your actual job or the role that you have, the reputation that you have, it's the what you're doing. So I deliver spiritual trainings, astrology trainings. That's my what I'm doing here. And then that vision of the future is what would the world look like when everything works out your way? What is that ultimate utopian world, that vision of the future? For me, I have Aries, and I want to change the faces of leadership. So more people like you and me are standing in confidence in our own expertise our to share our greatest work, our contributions. Okay. Recapping, purpose is your big why that wakes you up every day. Your mission, what you are doing here and now to accomplish it. And your vision is the vision of the future that you are looking to achieve in your utopian world. And I want to make sure that you have these three things very clear, because I see organizations messing this up all the time. Now, the reason why I went onto that tangent is because I wanted to talk about your purpose, because today with the Sagittarius new moon, we are talking about your purpose. Yes, you can look to that ninth house cusp. Yes, you can look to where Sagittarius lives in your chart. For me, Sagittarius is ruling my seventh house. That means you, my friend. Doesn't mean that you have to be a Sagittarius, although you likely have your sun, moon, or rising or some other planets in Sagittarius. It means that you want to connect the dots to your bigger purpose, that you want to explore bigger meaning, that you want to answer your big why. And that is who I'm here to serve. So for me, Sagittarius, I'm going to give you your house personalizations. Don't worry about it. But for me in this new moon, I'm creating an intention around the seventh house of why. And it just so happens that in this new moon chart from San Francisco, this is not my chart. It also has Sagittarius. So coming back to this big why, that's ultimately that purpose, that calling. If you don't know your purpose, if you don't know your calling, great. Your intention is to simply connect to your purpose and your calling. How easy is that? So don't worry about how you're going to get to your calling or your purpose. The universe just wants you to hear it. The universe wants you to say it. It wants to hear so it can grant you what you desire. So go big. Sagittarius always wants to go big. Now, notice that Sagittarius here, this new moon at 20 degrees, is in conjunct Taurus, Uranus at Taurus of 19 degrees, only 1 degree away. Now, in conjunct is one of those kind of funky little aspects. I like to think of this aspect as kind of like the dominant submissive aspect. Yes, a little bit about BDSM and the power dynamics between the dominant and the submissive. There's power in both of those roles if you understand. Sometimes the submissive has power because they don't have to make decisions. They're free from having to make a choice. And sometimes the dominant, who seems like they're in control, is really trapped because now they're in charge of making all the decisions and can't do things without the submissive's assistance and roles and help. And so this in conjunct is really asking you, what hasn't changed? What have you been trapped by that hasn't been changed? Like, how do you consider your purpose? Maybe you've heard that your purpose is not worth it, or it's too radical, or you've just haven't been able to get any traction on it. Why? understanding why, understanding the narrative or the belief. Whose belief is that? And how long are you going to let that belief have control? That in conjunct is about control over you. You can break free of this control. So get curious with where have you not been trapped and not been able to change. That's the first thing that Uranus is asking about this new moon. Now, the second part of this new moon is we have the moon quintile to Saturn. Now, quintile is one of those quintessential aspects, these kind of je ne sais quoi of relationships between this new moon and Saturn, now direct in Pisces. And to me, this quintile, this je ne sais quoi, is so magical and so sparkly, even though it's with that, traditionally malefic planet Saturn. We're taking the malefic back from Saturn and giving it its power. Saturn is about mastery. It wants you to see your own expertise and your own mastery. And it relates back to this Mercury retrograde. And so to me, this quintile between the moon and Saturn is asking you, how can you give yourself more acceptance, Pisces, around your calling, that Sagittarius? Okay, so how can you give yourself more acceptance? How can, if you just had a magic wand and you were the expert in your calling, could you accept that? Yes, you can. And if you're like, ooh, there's like little prickly parts, you're like, ooh, I can't accept that. Get curious again. Does it relate back to that Uranus? What stories and beliefs around changing do you not fully embody yet? Okay, so again, this quintile with Saturn, a little bit about magic. You are already the expert. Believe it. The next aspect that this new moon is having is that we talked about that Mercury retrograde, about how you've been able to, have you been able to commit? Have you been able to commit to your purpose or what needs to shift? That's another story that we'll be exploring with this Mercury retrograde as it goes forth. And then another aspect I want you to hone into, the new moon is trine the midway point between Chiron and the North Node, both in Aries. Chiron and North Node are going to be meeting up in Aries in February. And then the first eclipse that we have, the first solar eclipse that we have, is going to also be conjunct North Node. So we're getting echoes of what is, or foreshadows of what's coming ahead in 2024 about you stepping into your own leadership so we can change the faces of leadership. And so this beautiful new moon trying that midway point between the North Node and Chiron asks, how is your calling connected to your healing journey? Now, have you been exploring your healing journey and everything that you've learned because of the challenges that you have overcome? Or have you been running away from your hurts and therefore hurting others because you're not yet willing to look in the mirror and really get deep down about what your triggers are, what your challenges are? And this new moon with this trine here says, you got this. It's okay to look deep. You'll be okay. You'll understand your wounds. You'll understand how your wounds and your challenges are really the gifts of contribution. Working on Chiron over the last couple of weeks in Star Powered Circle, it's been so illuminating to hear people really connect the dots to their healing journey. Is it safe? Yes, it is safe now to fully embody and share everything that you have overcome. This is part of your leadership. And so that new moon, again, is reminding you, is asking you, how is your calling, your bigger purpose, connected to your healing journey? North Node, your stretch potential. Yes, you got to stretch. It's not going to be comfortable to stretch into the unknown. Chiron, yes, it's not going to be that comfortable to explore your wounds, but the gifts are absolutely worth it. This trine proves it. And lastly, this new moon is conjunct Mars in Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, and Mars in Sagittarius. Mars is at 13 degrees. So we have a 7-degree, a wide conjunction with Mars. But whenever Mars is involved, Mars wants us to take action. If we can't take action, if we're blocked from our action, if we're stuck in places of resentment or frustration, that means that we're not understanding what our boundaries are. We're not expressing our boundaries. So, Mars here, let's raise the energy and the vibration of Mars so that we can be motivated, so we can be energized. And the way we do that is by taking a simple step, taking action. So, this new moon, the three main things I want you to remember about this new moon is that we're reflecting back on all your challenges of everything of your life experience over the last 12 months, all of your Capricorn, rethinking how you've worked too hard, rethinking how you maybe haven't reached all your goals, rethinking all of your life experiences. What have you gained this year? Because there's silver linings there for you to reflect on. That's number one. Number two, what is your big calling? What is your big why that drives you and motivates you and wakes you up every day that you are unstoppable? And if you don't have it yet, it's okay. You can simply intend for you to connect to your calling and answering those reflection questions that we went through to get to your calling. What's your ninth house sign? What's your Chiron? What's your north node? What's your sun? What's your midheaven? All of those energies will get you to your calling. And the third thing for this new moon, 3 simple steps that you need to do: reflect, hone into your calling. And number 3, Mars, take action. What is one step towards accomplishing your calling, being on your highest path, or connecting to your calling if you don't have it, that you promise to take yourself? Okay? 3 things this Sagittarius new moon. So again, this new moon in Sagittarius is not yet so easy after all of the intense lunations we've had since mid-year, but it's softer, subtle. Jupiter, the ruler of this lunation, is still at a snail's pace because at the end of the year, it's getting ready to move direct. So it's really moving slowly in retrograde right now. Again, a perfect time for reflection and absolutely for being grateful, finding all of those silver linings. You'll have plenty of time to put your intentions and your goals for 2024 in place after this Mercury retrograde. If you're trying to rush and push, this is only going to expand your anxiety. So instead, embrace softening and digging your heels into the ground, feeling your toes into the ground to reflect on how your beliefs have shifted over the course of this year. A lot of challenges. But can you see how you've taken aligned action according to your beliefs and your purpose? Now, the shadow side of Jupiter, ruler of this new moon, asks you to notice where you're overgiving or over demanding, like I have been. There are times when it's great to overgive, but not all the time. Your energy, your work, your money cannot be sustained if you are overgiving. And on the flip side, be sure to watch out for giving with expectations of receiving. It's easy to get stingy, expecting payment or return for every little thing you put out. You put hard work in, after all. But where can you open yourself up to opportunities to give, or to give just to give, or to receive with gratitude and not feel like you owe someone? Whew, that one is really hard. I think I shared that in one of my most recent episodes. As you do this, you will tap into the beautiful spiritual aspect of this beautiful Sagittarius new moon. This new moon, I want you to charge up your body, charge up your mind, charge up your heart on the good vibes, and then channel your light into inspired steps forward. Focus your attention on one thing that you can get down really, really, really well. Something that will energize your beliefs and amplify your purpose. What is the one thing you know you need to concentrate your efforts on? As you set your intentions looking forward into the next year, really feel into how you want to be more aligned with your purpose of what you're here to accomplish. Your purpose, your beliefs, your values of why you are here to do. It is safe and time to get your hopes up looking forward. Believe in yourself because I believe in you. Believe in your purpose. As you do, you will elevate the collective. So let's talk about some personalizations. If you know where 20 degrees of, if you know where 20 degrees of Sagittarius, I want you to look for the house that contains that degree. If not, just listen for the rising signs that I give. Maybe this will be for you. So remember, this Sagittarius new moon, you're planting the seeds to grow your purpose and calling in your work. If you're an Aries rising or have the ninth house activated, your purpose is about your global reach, your visibility, and your inspirational purpose. If you're a Taurus rising or have an eighth house activation, you are planting the seed in your calling with your ability to heal using truth and diverse wisdom traditions. If you're a Gemini rising like me or have a seventh house activation, you're planting the seeds for your purpose and your calling with your collaborators so that you can collaborate and co-create with cosmopolitan ideal customers and co-creators. If you're a Cancer rising or have a sixth house activation, I want you to plant the seeds to grow your purpose in your work's freedom based routines that let you serve many more. So make sure you have your daily practices, your systems, all of your rituals all set up. If you're a Leo rising or a fifth house activation, today you're planting the seeds for your purpose and calling in your work's expansive, inspirational pleasure, passion projects. This is all about fun, my Leo friends. If you're a Virgo rising or have a fourth house activation for this new moon, you're planting the seeds to grow your purpose and calling in your work's emotional security and deep spiritual roots so you can rise higher. If you're a Libra rising or a third house activation, today you're planting the seeds to grow your purpose and calling in your work's inspirational communications and your promotional messaging. What can you share and teach? If you're Scorpio rising or have a second house activation, today you're planting the seeds to grow your purpose and calling in your work's gratitude-based values and value add to your clients. So this is about money. This is about investing and how you add value through your work. If you're Sagittarius rising or have a first house activation, this is a great one for you, one that you really need to grow your purpose and calling in your brand identity and inspirational leadership. This is all about you. If you're a Capricorn rising or 12th house activation, today you're planting the seeds and growing your purpose and calling in something much more subtle. You're journeying for unification with your highest self. So do some dream questing. If you're Aquarius rising or an 11th house activation, today you're planting the seeds to grow your purpose in your work's global social impact and community building. Aquarius, you got your work cut out for you. Get to that vision. And lastly, if you're Pisces rising or have a 10th house activation for the Sagittarius new moon, you are planting the seeds to grow your purpose and calling in your work's amplified delivery of your ultimate mission on the global stage. So work on your offers, work on what you are doing. How do you want that to shift and change? All right, my friends, thank you so much for sticking with me and and apologies again for being a little bit late with this new moon in Sagittarius episode. I really wanted to get this to you. As you can hear, my voice is quickly leaving me. So I will cut it off at here for now. Do your ritual this new moon, reflect, grow into your purpose, and take aligned action. All right, my friends, more soon. See you soon. As a human design projector, my energy shines more brightly because of people like you who share my work. If you enjoy enjoy this podcast and want to help build a movement of innovative astrology and leadership and spark the intuitive revolution, please rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, or better yet, share this podcast with your change-making besties. We will all shine brighter together as we create the future we want to see.